Good morning, you all. Blessings, 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 blessings to each and every last one of you all. Hopefully, you all can definitely hear me. Good morning. Okay, so I just want to say good morning to each and every last one of you all. Um, it's been a minute since I've been on here in the mornings. But I want to say happy Thursday to each and every last one of you all. Um, I want to share with you all. I just want to say this right here. I found out that a beautiful, beautiful baby girl. She's not even a baby, but she's a teen. Hey, Bria. She's a beautiful young lady named Lex, and she passed away, and she went to Innovative Empowerment Church, and was such a beautiful spirit young lady. Um, and my prayers go out to her family, to Sister Prince. I do not know how it feels to lose a child, but I do know how it feels to lose a loved one. But I'm definitely praying for you and your family's strength right now. Um, you all not understand. We really, really don't know what tomorrow may bring or what tomorrow holds for us. We really need to truly start telling our loved ones that we love them, and because they can be here today and gone tomorrow. Um I'm just again just in shock after I seen the post last night. I'm just in shock um because I literally was I was at the CVS by the church, and I remember seeing her outside of the church with her mother them, and that wasn't even not even a couple of weeks ago or whatnot. But again, my heart goes out to her family. Um, but what I want to talk about is the the pressure, not even the pressure. We go through so much in life, and we honestly feel as though that it's so much pressure that sometimes we don't have an out. I seen about 5 o'clock this morning, I seen that someone was just saying that suicide um is real, and suicide is real, especially amongst the African American community. Um, Depression is real. You never know what anyone is going through at all. You really don't know what anyone is going through. You don't know how much pressure people have on them. You don't even know how much um, how people are pulling on their loved ones, pulling on people, because it can be a lot of pressure, and people don't understand and don't even know how to um some people don't even know how to let out their anger, let out their frustration, or they don't even talk about what it is that they're going through. Instead, they hold so much on the inside. And when they're holding everything on the inside is not good, because when all that get bottled up, when all the feeling, the thoughts, everything just get bottled up, it's like a ticking time bomb. Boom, it's an explosion, and whoever is near or in the like literally in view, that's who catches all of that hell, that hidden frustration. That's who catches all of that, and when they catch it, it's a wrap. um I'm here to tell you, you really need to have an outlet. You really need to have an outlet to talk to someone. If you having all these thoughts in your head, and you feel as though everyone is pulling on you, no one understands you, it is good to have that one friend, or at least someone to have you. You need an outlet. You really, truly, truly need an outlet so that you're able to talk it out. And is nothing wrong with seeking professional help, as into having a therapist. Is nothing wrong with it. Is, trust me, it's nothing wrong with having a therapist. having someone you can talk to, having someone to understand what you're going through. And the thing about it is that not everyone can really relate to what you're going through. You get what I'm saying? Like, not everyone can definitely relate to what you're going through, because people will sit up and like, oh, I understand what you're going through. If you've never been hungry, if you've never been without a job less than 30 days, over 30 days, if you've never been through the fire, if you never been through the storm, if you never had to go through anything, but someone was always there to bail you out of, then you cannot relate to someone that's struggling. You cannot relate to someone that's trying to, rob Peter to pay Paul. You literally cannot relate. If you get what I'm saying, you can't relate. And them are the ones that I just be like, you can't relate to me. A lot of people are like, oh, I understand what you're going through. No, you can't. You cannot relate to me. If you haven't been in my shoes, you cannot relate. You literally cannot relate to me. Now, the ones that have gone through the struggle, um, they sometimes can relate, and they can tell you how they made it over. And those be the ones that can give you some good advice. Those be the ones that can actually help you get through your struggle along with you. Where some will tell you, hey, I sought out God, and God, helped me. It wasn't an overnight process, but this is what had to happen in order for me to go through this struggle. Your struggle isn't like the next person's struggle. Everybody's struggle is different. Just like everybody's sin is different. Sin is sin. And no one can judge you on your struggle. No one can judge you on your sin at all, period. But I just want people to know this right here. Regardless of what it is that you go through, you can get through it. I don't care what the situation look like. And I always said, I don't care what the situation look like. You can literally get through it. Trust and believe me, you can get through it. You can get through anything. You can get through it. Period. Today is 12/13, 2018, 12/13, 2014, December 2000, the 13th, 2014. I was delivered. I went through a deliverance. I was delivered from bipolar, schizophrenia, paranoia. I was delivered. I started going through deliverance. I met Apostle Kenya J. Miller. I met her at the time. She was prophetess, and she touched me one time, and I went through a deliverance because I was dealing with depression. I was dealing with bipolar, schizophrenia, and paranoia. I was dealing with so much of mental health issues, and I was going through it, and no one at the time could tell me that they understood what I was going through. People kept saying, "Oh, I understand, I understand." No, you did not. No one could tell me that they understood what I was going through at that time, because guess what? At that time, I was going through a lot. I was literally going through a lot. I was in such a bad depression state. I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to live anymore. I just felt like my children would have been better off without me. I felt like I would be a less burden to my family members. They didn't have to worry if I was taking my medication. They didn't have to worry about when I disappeared. Where was I? Why was I not answering the phone? They didn't have to worry about if I was going to overdose on my medicated pain medication. Like, this is how I felt. I felt like if I left the world, that the world would have been a better place without me being in it. But again, on 12/13, 2014, I was delivered. So that's been 4 years ago to the date. So I'm here to tell you, if I made it, trust and believe me, you can make it too. Now, I might have not been through everything that everybody else has been through, but I have a testimony on how I made it and how I got over. And I made it just by with the love of God. And then with God placing certain people in my life, whether they were seasonal or lifetime, but God began to help me literally. And then not only that, you have to literally want to be delivered. You have to want to be saved. You have to want to get your life in order. Can't nobody else want your deliverance. Can't nobody else want your healing. Can't nobody else want anything better for you than you. You have to be the one to literally want it more than anything in the world. You have to want it for yourself. You have to want it. And the thing about it was that during that time, I wanted it. Like, I literally wanted this. I wanted to be free from everything. I wanted to be free from it all. I didn't want to hear voices. I didn't want to see things. I didn't want to have a temper problem. I didn't want to be a fighter. I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be bitter. You get what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a bad parent. I didn't want to be a horrible sister. I didn't want to be a horrible daughter. I didn't want to be a horrible friend. I didn't want to be a horrible employee. I wanted better. Like, I wanted something better, and I wanted it so bad. I knew something was wrong with me. I knew something was wrong with me. But even then, even during that day, I didn't want to go to the program which Josie Bryant invited me to. I didn't even want to go. I didn't want to go to this program. But God placed it in my heart for me to go. Precious Chavis Bennett was having a program that evening called Let's Talk. And I didn't want to go to any of these, but these were my stepping stones for me and the platform for me to begin a newness, for me to begin my healing, for me to begin my deliverance. You get what I'm saying? So when I began to take on that, I decided to go. When I went, the title was called Name Change. That's what Apostle Kenya preached on that particular day, and it was called Name Change. I remember that message. I recorded it. I have it saved. It was called Name Change, and guess what God did? God touched me and began to change my name. And I can honestly say I'm happy now because of the things that God is doing in my life. It may have took me some time to get to where I am now, but I went through it, and I'm happy that I went through it and that I finally stopped running. It was some people that labored with me. I mean, they stayed on the phone with me when I cried and when I wept and when I prayed. They was praying for me. They understood, okay, this baby, she wants this deliverance. She wants to be set free. And I tell each and every last one of those that labored with me, I tell them, thank you. I tell them, thank you for being obedient. I tell them, thank you for the sacrifices they made. It was just literally, I mean, literally the ministry that I was up underneath, like literally, they helped me. They literally helped me. They helped push me. They encouraged me. They motivated me. They did not allow me to give up on me. Um, and I can honestly, and I give credit where it's due, because there were past pastors, past churches that I went to where I knew they seen what was going on with me on the inside, but didn't try to help me nor try to help me get delivered. But that's okay. You get what I'm saying? Because God had who he needed in place to help me. So, like I said, I began to go to Innovative Empowerment Church. There was Apostle Kenya Miller. There was now Associate Pastor Tammy Thomas. Her husband, um, Minister Francis Jones, and her husband Deep Jones. Um, oh my God, Elder Baker. Oh, it's like their whole leadership. They literally labored with me. And trust me, they probably got tired of me. They probably got tired of me being up there at that altar. They probably got tired of wrestling with those spirits. They probably got tired of wrestling with them demons. They probably got tired. But however, because they literally labored with me, they was like, this baby want to be set free. Oh, hey, AP. Hey, I ain't see you. Hey, AP. And they literally seen something in me that even I didn't see in myself. But I tell God, thank you, because they labored with me. And I'm just talking about 12, 13, 14. I don't know if you remember Associate Pastor Tammy, when I first came, I met you 12, 13, 14 too, when Apostle was prophetess, and she preached on name change, and I began to go through a deliverance. And I'm just telling my testimony because This date means so much to me. 12 13 will always be a date that I always remember dear to my heart, because it was my start of my deliverance process to where I am now. And I'm happy because I am free. I am free. And God continues to work on me, and I'm just happy where I am at now spiritually, and how I have literally grown, matured spiritually. I have grown so much, and to be able to recognize where I come from, for people to actually to be able to see the difference in me, for people to literally understand, okay, this woman has a testimony. I wouldn't wish what I had or what I went through on anyone, because when you don't know what's really going on, because the enemy will creep in and make you feel as though that don't nobody understand you, don't nobody care for you, don't nobody want to see you. This is what the enemy does. He'll play mind games with you, and you have to understand that the enemy loves to play in our mind. If he can get a hold of our mind, he feels as though he has won. But he didn't win because I wanted it. And like I said, you have to want to be healed. You have to want to be delivered. You have to be hungry and thirsty. You have to want it. No matter if your mama, your sister, your cousin, your daddy, your children, no matter how much somebody wants something for you, you have to want it for yourself. And the thing about it is that I literally wanted it for myself. And because I wanted it for myself, I went and got it. Oh, trust and believe, it was times when I wanted to give up. It was times when I said, you know what? I can't do this no more. Like, God, if this is what I got to go through, I don't want to go through it. But I was just, you know what? I can honestly say that I'm happy that I went through the process. And the process seemed so bad. The process seemed so bad. Like, I didn't want it. Oh, I wanted something that was instant, like a microwavable dinner. I wanted it quick, fast, in a hurry. I wanted to be healed today. I wanted to talk tomorrow. I wanted all this stuff quick, fast, in a hurry. I wanted something microwavable. Pop it in the microwave, it'd be warm in 5 minutes. That's what I wanted with my healing and with my deliverance. I wanted it quick, fast, in a hurry. But when God is doing something for you, it's a process that you must go through. It's not going to happen in 5 minutes. It's not going to happen in 24 hours. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week. You're literally going to go through this process. And as you're going through the process, you're going to want to stop. Trust me, it's just like boot camp. It's just like boot camp. You go through that tough, you sign up for the military. You sign up for the military. Guess what? You go through boot camp. Baby, them obstacles they take you through, no, I ain't running that. I'm not putting on that heavy equipment, and I'm not about to run with that heavy equipment on my, me. Nah, I'm good. But guess what? Because you want it so bad, you're going to put on the garments. You're going to put on every equipment. You're going to get on the ground. You're going to crawl. You're going to get dirty. You're going to fight, and you're going to press your way through because you want it so bad. Just a ranking in the middle. That's how I look at it in the military. It's a process. You all don't understand. I cried. I done cried. I done prayed. I done yelled. I done fought. I done been rebellious. I probably done it all through this process. But at the end of the day, I am so happy with where I am. And I can only tell those thank you. And like I said, I give credit where it's due. A lot of people labored with me. A lot of people prayed. A lot of people wanted it just as bad as I wanted it for myself. And I got it. I'm so happy that on December the 13th, 2014, I am so happy that I literally decided to go to that women's conference. I am so happy that I decided to go to that evening to the Let's Talk conference because those two were my platform and my starting point for me to be delivered. I had so much hidden frustration in me. I had so much going on within myself that I knew I needed the help, and I knew if I didn't get it together, that I would have been gone. I probably would have. I probably would have been dead by the end of that year because I had so much suicidal thoughts going through my head. Like literally, I had so many suicidal thoughts going through my head, and I remember that day clear as day. I that day I wanted to end my life also because it was just so much going on literally in my head. But I'm so glad that Josie did not stop knocking on that front door. I'm so glad that Precious kept calling me to make sure that I was going to come that evening. I'm glad my daughter answered the front door when she did answer the front door. God had everybody in the place where they need to be at to help me get through where I'm at now. So you can be healed and you can be delivered, but you have to want it. That's my testimony. I was healed and I was delivered, and it's not an overnight process. It really is not an overnight process. It's not nothing that you can literally get overnight. It really isn't. It's not nothing that happened overnight. You're going to go through some growing pains, and it's okay. It's okay to go through those growing pains. It really is. But at the end of the day, it's worth those growing pains. It is really worth it. And I'm just so happy. So I celebrate my life today. I celebrate the rebirth of me. I celebrate me. I celebrate the rebirth of me on 12/13. I really do. 4 years. 4 years. God is so good and He's so awesome. If you just trust Him and continue to trust Him, you will understand and know that He can do all things but fail. God, let me tell you something. He never leave us nor forsaken us. It's us that always leaves Him. We always turn our back. It's a lot of us that will turn our back on God. And then we'll be like, well, we waiting on God. No, 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 no. We not waiting on God. God's waiting on us. That's it. Like, oh, I'm just waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. No, 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 no. That's not what it is. God is waiting on us. Like I said a long time ago, God, you know when God is calling you. And if He's calling you, answer the call. And that was one of the messages that one of the ministers had preached on and did a conference on. Minister Tracy Skimpins. She did that, and I just loved that. I loved it like never before. And you have to understand that, God has purpose. We have a purpose. God has a purpose for each and every last one of us. Some of us don't understand, or some of us don't know our purpose. But if you go to God and you just seek God, and He will tell you what your purpose is. I mean, He will give it to you. You just have to go through. Again, it's a process. Nothing happens overnight. You know what I'm saying? And some people process move faster than others because they are more obedient. Remember, obedience is better than sacrifice. Some people, obedience in this, you know what I'm saying? Even the sacrifices, but it's more so their obedience. That's why some people are elevated quicker than others. Sometimes people are um move faster because of their obedience. And you're right, we have to step into the purpose in this season. Exactly, Vonda, we do. And that's one of my sisters too. 'Cause that's a powerful woman of God too. Because she done seen me through some days too. And I do tell God thank you for her. I really truly do, because she's been a blessing to me also. Um, but when you surrender it all, and like I said, I think a couple of days ago, I was saying, matter of fact, Sunday, I was saying August the 12th. Was it August the 12th? August the 12th of this year, I decided to be like, you know what, God? I was going through the process, but I also was being rebellious. But I was like, you know what? I have to surrender it all and just give it all to God. And I laid everything down and was like, God, here am I. Here am I. And just to show, I was just like, just to show when I laid that down, and I kid you not, I began to be more obedient. I began to get into my word more. I began to pray more. I began to literally be obedient. Like I surrendered everything. And when I did that, I promise you all, that was like the best feeling ever in my life, because God has been really doing some things in my life. And I'm just so happy. It may not be the things that I want, but it's what God has for me. So I no longer take free will as a choice, if that makes sense. Because God give us free will. See, free will got me in trouble. Free will got me in a lot of jacked up stuff because I wasn't supposed to do what I did. But I'm glad that I got it right and decided to take the path that God chose for me. So you're able, and God is able. So don't think that you're waiting on God. God is waiting on you. And I'm just here to help. And that's what I've been hashtagging. I'm just here to help. And I just want to save souls. And I just want everyone to be saved. But it's not what I want, it's what you all want. Are you hungry enough? Are you thirsty enough? Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be delivered from whatever it is that you're dealing with? Whatever it is that got you in bondage? Whatever soul tie is holding you. It's like that's what you have to. You have to want it. You have to want it. You have to want it, and understand that you're not exempt. Just because you surrender and you say, "Okay, God, I surrender." Trust me, the walk. I know I'm not the only one that can say this. The walk is never going to be easy, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to go through some persecution. You're going to go through being slandered, talk about. Oh, honey, you're going to get it all. You're not exempt. Jesus went through it. You're going to go through it. You're not exempt from it all. And understand that when the enemy sees that you're now getting your life together and you finally have surrendered and you're doing what thus says the Lord and you're being obedient and you're not allowing things to bother you, you do know that the enemy will try his best to take your distraction off of God, because he'll start coming through your children, he'll start coming through your co-workers at work, your boss, he'll start coming through your friends, he'll start coming through your family members, because this is what the enemy does. He wants to take you off task. He wants to take you off task. He wants you to get distracted. He wants you to be sidetracked. He does not want you to get what God has in store for you. He doesn't. He really don't. He don't want you to reach out to the million of people that God wants you to reach out to. He don't want you speaking. He'll try to silence you. He will. But when you can recognize the trick of the enemies and you can get into prayer and you can bind and rebuke and keep it flowing and keep it going, you will be just fine. Again, the walk is not going to be easy, but obedience is better than sacrifice. And I just keep hearing the Lord saying that obedience is better than sacrifice. I don't know who this was for, but if you know for a fact that God has been calling you, you know that God has been dealing with you, you've been tossing and turning in your sleep, you don't know whether you're coming or going. I'm telling you, God is calling you, and He just wants you to be obedient and just surrender. Just give it all to God and allow God to order your steps. I'm telling you, it will be the best decision in your life that you've ever made. It's better than buying a brand new car. Trust me. It's a feeling like no other, and I can't describe the feeling. I can't describe the feeling because how I feel, you may not feel. But I do know that this feeling it's a wonderful feeling. It is just something that I can't describe. Um, but God is magnificent, and His love is everlasting. And no matter what we do, no matter what we do, He literally always love us regardless of what. He love us. He love us regardless of what we do. Like, we can turn our backs on God. God still love us in the midst of all our mess. And that, like, that's crazy. It's crazy, but I'm just glad that he does. I'm glad that he never leave us nor forsaken us. I'm glad that he loves us unconditional. I'm glad he knows our sins, even the ones that we don't confess openly with our mouths. He knows that, and he still loves us. And that, you can't tell me that God isn't good. You cannot tell me that his love isn't unconditional. You cannot tell me that God is not worthy to be praised. You cannot tell me. God is just too good. He's too good, and he's been too good to many of us when some of us don't even deserve it. But God, he deserves all the glory, all the praises. And I love it. And I'm so happy I chose to get my life right. I'm so happy that I was so hungry and thirsty for his word. I'm so glad that I wanted to be healed and delivered more than anything. I'm just glad. Oh, 12, 13, 14. 4 years. You all don't understand. I love each and every last one of you all. May you all definitely be blessed. And remember, keep God first. And just know that there's someone out there that's praying for your healing and for your deliverance. But you have to want it more than we want it for you. Be blessed. Bye.